Maulana Abul Ala Maududi was born in the city of Aurangabad in British India in the year 1903. He was born into an Indian Muslim family and was fluent in the Urdu, Persian, Arabic and English languages, and he was well versed in both Islamic and Western literature. After witnessing the humiliation of Indian Muslims at the hands of British colonialism, Maududi became involved in the Indian independence movement. During his youth, Maududi became a journalist and was dedicated to writing articles which exposed the exploitation of Indians by British colonial authorities. Maulana Maududi also wrote articles reminding Indian Muslims of their illustrious history and warning them of Western influences such as moral decadence, materialism, communism, and capitalism. He published articles in multiple Urdu language newspapers. Because of his prolific and eloquent writing, Maududi was employed by the Hyderabad State Ministry of Education in 1930. Maulana Maududi wrote many Islamic textbooks which eventually became part of the Hyderabad State High School curriculum. During this period, Maududi also translated many Arabic books into the Urdu language, such as Ibn Khaldun's Al-Muqaddimah. He eventually left Hyderabad and traveled to the city of Lahore, where he was invited by the famous intellectual known as Muhammad Iqbal in order to become part of a new Islamic research institution. During this period, Maududi became involved in political debates concerning the future of the Indian subcontinent. Maulana Maududi disagreed with the political parties such as the Muslim League and the Congress Party, and he rejected the idea of the partition of the Indian subcontinent along religious lines. Maududi wanted Muslims to remain strong and influential in all of India and not just a few provinces. In 1941, Maududi formed his own group known as the Jamaat-e-Islami. The Jamaat-e-Islami attracted followers from a variety of economic and social backgrounds. Lawyers such as Mia Tufail Muhammad, medical professionals such as Dr. Nazir Shaheed, and also Islamic scholars such as Israr Ahmed and Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi all joined this new organization created by Maulana Maududi. By the year 1944, Maududi established branches of the Jamaat-e-Islami in multiple provinces of India such as Punjab, Sindh, Kashmir, Balochistan, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Deccan and Madras. Many Jamaat-e-Islami members were arrested and harassed by British authorities. During the inter-religious violence that took place during the partition of the Indian subcontinent in 1947, Maulana Maududi, who was in Punjab at the time, was forced to migrate to the newly formed state of Pakistan after his offices were attacked by extremist Hindu and Sikh mobs. During this violent period of history, Maududi and the Jamaat-e-Islami conducted humanitarian efforts and provided food, shelter and medical assistance for Muslim migrants who had crossed the border into Pakistan. During his time in Pakistan, Maududi became one of the most influential figures in the country. Maududi took an active part in the politics of Pakistan. The primary objective of his group was to reform the existing setup of the Pakistani government and establish an Islamic system through constitutional means. Jamaat-e-Islami participated in elections and called for constitutional reforms. In 1948, Maududi was arrested after he criticized the corrupt Pakistani judicial system and called for an Islamic constitution. After his release, the Pakistani government banned his speeches from being aired on the radio and closed down the newspaper of Jamaat-e-Islami. In 1956, Maududi visited Syria, Jordan and Saudi Arabia. He also visited Egypt and was received by the Sheikh of Al-Azhar, known as Imam Mahmud Shaltut. During his time in the Arab world, many of Maududi's books were translated into the Arabic language, and he was praised by Arab writers and intellectuals such as Yusuf al-Qaradawi, Taqiyuddin Nabhani, and Sayyid Qutb. After returning to Pakistan, Maududi continued to recruit followers across the country. In 1958, the Pakistani Prime Minister Feroz Khan was overthrown in a military coup led by General Ayub Khan. Maulana Maududi resisted the military dictatorship of Ayub Khan and was arrested twice during his rule. He was arrested because he rejected military dictatorship and called for an Islamic constitution. However, he was eventually released due to international pressure. After his release, Maududi continued his revolutionary and humanitarian activities. The Jamaat-e-Islami established schools, clinics and orphanages across Pakistan, and they provided many vital services to the people that the government had failed to provide. In 1959, Maududi established the Shah Waliullah Oriental College in the city of Hyderabad. During the India-Pakistan War of 1965, Jamaat-e-Islami provided urgent medical assistance to Kashmiris who were injured during the war. During this period, Maududi published the book entitled The Kashmir Issue, which was published in 5 languages and distributed to countries around the Muslim world in order to raise awareness about the genocide of Muslims in Kashmir. In 1967, Jamaat-e-Islami collected a huge amount of donations to help Palestinians who were displaced in the Arab-Israeli war. However, these donations did not reach Palestine as they ended up in the pockets of corrupt Pakistani government officials. In 1971, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was elected as the new president of Pakistan. The socialist government of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was initially very popular. However, his government eventually proved to be highly corrupt and became famous for eliminating political opponents through assassinations and secret police. In 1977, Maududi had a private meeting with President Zulfikar. asking him to resign for the sake of the stability of the country. When Zia-ul-Haq became the president of Pakistan in the same year, he appointed Maulana Maududi as a senior advisor due to his immense influence in society. During his time in the Pakistani government, Maududi introduced economic reforms such as the banning of interest loans and the introduction of the zakat tax, which was a 2.5% tax collected from citizens and given to the most poor and needy people in the country. In 1978, Maulana Maududi visited the Middle East for a second time when he was invited to Saudi Arabia and awarded the King Faisal International Award for the service of Islam. When Maududi received the King Faisal Prize in Saudi Arabia, King Faisal became a major financial supporter of Jamaat-e-Islami in Pakistan. During his visit to Saudi Arabia, Maududi also contributed to the establishment of the Muslim World League. After returning to Pakistan, Maududi continued to call for reforms in the Pakistani political system, and he continued his humanitarian activities. Because of Saudi financial support, Maududi was able to establish more schools, clinics, and publishing houses across Pakistan. Throughout his life, Maulana Maududi wrote hundreds of books and gave thousands of lectures on a variety of different subjects. Some of his most famous books include Human Rights in Islam, Islamic Economics, Islamic Civilization, and his famous 6-volume Urdu language commentary of the Holy Quran entitled Tahfim al-Quran.